Hey. How are you today?
Hey, good day, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm great. How's the family?
Oh man, blessed beyond
You're
measure. What about you? How's things on your end?
fantastic. Fantastic. You are looking good.
Oh, thank you, man. I did my little push-ups. Just trying to grow up to be like you, boss. That's it.
Where we are growing up to be like you. Hey guys, you're all welcome to today's presentation. Drop in the chat box where you're joining us from. Drop that in the chat box. How are you all doing today?
All right. Good deal. Got folks from the UK, Dubai, Nigeria, all over the place. Cameroon. Okay.
Yeah,
Very
we're
nice.
live on Facebook now.
Outstanding.
Ghana, Cameroon, Chad, UK, Lady Easterville, UK, Abuja, Nigeria,
Very nice.
Canada, Dallas. Wow. If you're excited to be here, to learn from the boss, the guru himself, I want you to drop 111 in the chat box. Drop 111. It's 2 o'clock already. I think it's 9 a.m. Easter time. So we'll get started. My name is Charles Tambou. I'm the boss of the Global Boss Stage. I'm so excited putting this up because one of the reasons why I'm doing this is to help people see the beauty of our profession and learn from different people. And Mr. Austin is someone I've been following for over 5 years now. Since I've been in the GoPro Academy. And, I've attended GoPro Recruiting Mastery online, and I've seen a lot you've done. I've been following you until recently after my the post on Business for All. You sent me a message. That message was really, really timely. When you are doing something, you don't know that others are watching. They are watching you, and you are one of those people that sent me an audio note. So it was really valuable. Thank you for that audio note. So he is a very remarkable person. He's someone that has really helped a lot of people in this profession with his training. And so today we are going to hear from him, but let me just read his profile out so as for us to know who is before us here. So guys, Austin ZULAUF. Is it ZULAUF? I hope I pronounced it well.
That's okay. Most everybody messes it all up. ZULAUF, that's good. Yeah.
ZULAUF. Okay. He's a top producer, speaker, author, and sought-after performance coach. He's a trainer and sought-after performance coach for the direct sales field, with a focus on the network marketing profession since officially beginning his professional journey in this field in 2002. Austin has been an outside sales consultant to multiple Fortune 500 companies. He's been the #1 income earner in 3 separate companies. He's become a best-selling author and is trained 10% of thousands of sales and marketing professionals in a classroom environment worldwide and countless more online. Being a student of W. Clement Stone and Napoleon Hill, Austin believes strongly in personal self-development and the power of a strong positive mindset. In fact, one of the courses taught by his training company is an intense personal self-development program using his coveted I saw personal development formula. It is evident from the success rate of Austin's personal coaching clients. His system and formulas for success are proven, predictable, and it followed will ensure proven, predictable, and if followed, will ensure success to any degree in whatever you choose. His insight into what it takes to live a successful and fulfilling life is almost supernatural. And I believe him because he's someone that believes in what he's doing. And, you know, I shared a success story recently and I saw that went viral. All over my.
There was so many shares. It was impressive. It was fun.
It went viral. So when I said you were coming up today to share with us tips that will help us grow our business, many people were excited. And so you have the floor. You're welcome, sir.
Outstanding. Well, I appreciate you, Charles, and congratulations to you and all your success as well. You know, it's been wondrous. It's been impressive watching you, you know, grow as a leader and lead other leaders as well. You know, I think a lot of people think MLM stands for multi-level marketing, but I feel like it stands for mentors leading mentors. As soon as you sign up as a distributor, and especially when you sponsor your first person or get your first customer, you're a mentor now, and you develop other mentors who develop other mentors. So it's a really fun profession, very rewarding, but thank you for all the kind words. I just got to give it back to you. You're just impressive, my friend. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So hopefully you guys are ready to take some notes because I'm going to get right into it. So I've had the privilege, the honor, the joy of training and coaching leaders from all over the world, every continent except for Antarctica. I don't think that I've trained anybody or coached anyone on Antarctica yet, but it's coming. And I've got a chance to talk with 6, 7, and 8, and even a 9-figure earner in this profession, which I only know of one. But I've got a chance to talk with a lot of people in this profession, and I've made a crazy discovery. You would never guess it. Most of them don't even know how they did it. They couldn't describe the whole process of network marketing to you from start to finish, from when you first decide to engage somebody to where you get to be $1 million a year earner. They couldn't describe that if they had to. And I'm kind of a deep thinker. I like to sit and think and break things down, and I'm all about systems. System stands for save yourself time, energy, and money, right? So if you have a system, you have to, actually, if you want to have any degree of success, then system, you know, having one is going to save you time, energy, and money every single time. It's going to make your life just way more stress-free, way more relaxed. And so what I want to do today is I want to give you what I call the 7 Ps. It's the perfect process for network marketing, start to finish, mindset to duplication. The 7 Ps are posture, prospect, peak, point, pass, plug, and promote. And I'm going to go over each one of them with you. I'm going to stick around at the end if we want to open it up for Q&A. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick, and we'll get right into it. Okay. So the 7 Ps are the 7 steps to the perfect process is what they call it. So posture is all about mindset. It's the mindset you need to have in order to be a big business builder. Posture is the weakness or the strength that people sense in you. Okay, so if you got to remember that you need people, but you don't need any one person. So when you're talking to people, care about them because they're a human being. Love them, but don't care about whether or not they join or buy your product or anything like that. Become emotionally disconnected from that and just concern yourself with putting people through the process. That's it. Love on them, care about them, be a good human, but don't necessarily worry about whether or not they're going to buy or join your product, or join your business. Remember that everything you chase will run, and everything you run from will chase you. So I'm going to give you another definition of posture as well. This is one that I want you to write down if you're taking notes, which hopefully you are. It's the unwavering belief in what you're doing without the need for external acceptance or approval. I'll type that in the chat right here. It's the unwavering belief in what you're doing without the need for external acceptance or approval. Let me give you an example of that. So if somebody, came up to you and said, hey, Charles, hey, guess what, man? That electricity stuff, total scam. You'd probably think they were out of their mind, right? I mean, it doesn't even make sense. You probably go over, flip a light switch on and call them crazy right out the gate, or wouldn't even need to, because your posture, your belief would be through the roof. You need to have that same belief in your product, your opportunity, your leadership, your company, your corporate team. You need to have that same belief. So when you do have that belief, you're not necessarily worried about whether someone will buy your product or join your business. You know the value of what you have, and that value is absolutely tremendous. So the first P is posture. The next P is prospect. It's the art of reaching out to people in order to develop a business relationship. So in relationship marketing, okay, what we do has all sorts of names, right? Network marketing, multi-level marketing, referral marketing, or relationship marketing. In relationship marketing, we seek, build, and develop and nurture relationships. And maybe one day we can harvest that relationship in the form of a business partnership. Maybe not, and honestly, I'm more concerned about the relationship than I am the business. I've never met Charles in person, but if Charles were in Kentucky and he needed a place to stay for the weekend, he could come by the house and I'd have a place for him. I've got friends in India, which I just learned how hot it gets in India today. I knew it gets hot, but I was complaining about the heat, and one of my friends said, that's a winter here. And I'm just like, well, I guess I probably won't be going to India soon. But I've got friends in India, and if I were to be there and need a place to stay or food to eat, they would happily invite me in, give me a place to stay, feed me, but we've never done business, so understand that the real value is your network. The real value is the friendships that you make along the way. So understand that. And so when you're prospecting, you're just seeking out people to build a relationship. That way you can develop and nurture that relationship and possibly harvest it in the form of a business relationship. Now, the third P is peak. So this is a big one because we spend over 70% of our time in network marketing doing this. Understand, we pique interest, we don't satisfy interest. And that's a big challenge that a lot of people that are just getting started have. I have someone today that I saw on their Facebook. They posted a presentation about their company. That completely negates the whole purpose of piquing someone's interest. It didn't pique anyone's interest. It satisfied people's interest. They got the company name. They could go to Google because they don't want to sit through a 25-minute presentation, and they Googled the company. They saw what they saw, and now you don't have any control over that, and there's no follow-up. So when you reach out to someone, reach out with just the intent on piquing their interest, not satisfying their interest. You're the messenger, not the message. You want to point towards the message once they're interested. That sounds a little bit something like this. Let me explain. So if I'm reaching out to Steve, okay, I'm going to reach out to Steve and I'm going to say something like, hey, Steve, what's up, man? How have you been? What's new? I'm going to wait for him to respond because we're having a conversation. I'm not just piquing his interest and trying to take my business and smack him in the face with it over and over till he tells me to bug off or to get lost or decides to join. Okay, so I'm going to reach out and start a conversation. Hey, Steve, what's up, man? How you been? He's going to say, oh, man, I've been good. Cool. What's new? And so I'm going to build that rapport briefly. And I'm going to say, hey, Steve, man, I got an interesting story for you. If you got a few minutes, is now a good time? He says, yes. Great. And then I'm going to share with him the story, which brought me to this company, which brought me to this product, think problem solution. And then I'm going to mention, hey man, if I were to send you a little info, when would you get a chance to check it out and just give me your honest feedback? And then I'm going to set the appointment to follow up, send him the information, and then follow up. What we do isn't rocket surgery, right? It doesn't take a genius is what I mean. And so whenever you're piquing interest, understand we pique interest, not satisfy interest. People that are really excited and just getting started in this profession have a tendency to verbally just vomit information all over people. And that's what you don't want to do. Pique interest, not satisfy interest. Folks, you are the message, you're the messenger, not the message. After you pique their interest, you want to point them towards the information. That's the next P. So you get the follow-up appointment set before you give them the information, or at least I do. And here's the reason why. If you don't set the follow-up appointment before they send them the information, it's likely you may not actually get a follow-up appointment. So with me, I don't like being told no. I don't like rejection. And so when I'm reaching out to folks, I reach out, catch up with them briefly, and then share my story. And then I use the if I would you concept. If I were to send you a little info, when would you get a chance to check it out and give me your honest feedback? They say 7 o'clock. I say, great. I'm actually busy at 7, but I'll be wrapped up by 7:15 or 7:30. Does that work for you? They say, yes. I say, awesome. Give you a holler about 7:30. Looking forward to chatting then. And then I'll send them the information, and then I'll follow up with them at 7:30. Okay, so I set the appointment to follow up before I even send them the information. This is just a personal preference. Me, personally, they won't get information from me ever on earth, period, if I don't have the follow-up appointment set first. It's just, for me, a matter of principle. I found that your posture is just way different if you already have the appointment set and then you send them the information than otherwise. Okay, so once you pique their interest, you point them towards the information, use the if I would you concept, and you're going to point them towards any sort of a tool, whatever you all use, a video, a website, whatever the case may be. Okay. Once you point them towards the information, you got to follow up, right? And when you follow up, it's always good to pass them to a third party. That's the next P, is pass. Preferably a 3-way call, a 3-way Zoom. It could be it could be any sort of a group event or whatever. Really what you're looking for when you pass is you're looking for that third party validation. Okay, so understand, me personally, if I'm a part of a company, chances are I can answer any question they have about the company. Charles can answer any question you have about the company. I'm telling you right now. But me personally, I don't answer all their questions. Most of the time, what I do is I'll do a 3-way call either with someone in my organization. If I have an upline, I might do a 3-way call or a 3-way Zoom with someone in my upline genealogy. I might do it with someone sidelined to me. Doesn't matter. The whole point is I'm going to edify and build that person up. That way, no matter what they think of me, no matter what they think of the business, no matter what they think of the product, what I'm doing is building the value in that person that I'm introducing them to, that expert that I'm introducing them to. And then I'm going to pass the call to that expert. And then they're going to edify me, building me up, building the value up in me and what we're doing, right? And then I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to let the expert do their job until the very end. And then we're going to put them in a decision-making situation. I like to say at the end, what, if anything, is preventing you from getting started right now? More than that, I say, hey, listen, what kind of questions do you have, or have we answered all your questions? If they're out of questions, I say, I've got a question for you then. What, if anything, is preventing you from getting started right now? And I say it expecting them to join. expecting them to say, well, nothing's really stopping me from getting started. You know, you don't get what you don't ask for. So once you pass them, understand that there's big power in three-way validation. After you pass, you want to plug them into your system, into your environment. Okay, so plug them into your Facebook group, any text blasts, WhatsApp groups, meetings, that sort of thing. You want to keep them around the campfire as much as possible. Okay, so when you plug them in, like I have a Facebook Messenger chat with all of my personal enrollments that I would always have. That way I could communicate to all my personals and they could hopefully disseminate that information to their organizations. I'll have a text blast. If they're international, a lot of times they are, I'll have a WhatsApp group, that sort of thing. And I'll have a Facebook group. So you want to make sure that you plug them into your ecosystem. Keep them around the campfire. They need to know that they're in it, by themselves or for themselves, but not by themselves. They're in business for themselves, but not by themselves. I would make it a point to introduce them to maybe 2 or 3 other people on the team. If they're a single mom, I'm going to make sure to introduce them to a single mom, someone I think they would hit it off with, because I want them to have an emotional connection to the business and the people in it. Okay, so you want to make sure that you plug them in to whatever it is that your ecosystem is. And then understand this last P, you can become a millionaire if you just learn this last P the right way, which is promote. What you want to do is promote event to event. Now, this is an event. The next opportunity presentation, that's an event. If you're having offline meetings or whatever, those are all events. You want to promote event to event. And there's huge power in promoting the right way. Now understand this too. Let's say that you have an opportunity presentation tonight, right? Unless you're Oprah and you're like super influential, just making a post on social media and hoping people see it probably isn't going to get you much traction. You want to have some one-on-one conversations, roll your sleeves up, talk to some people. I know that, Charles and Susanna and Christiana, these are great people, right? And so I see Susanna over here just being awesome, living a great life. I want her in my organization. I want her part of my tribe. I want her part of my family, right? So I'm going to reach out to her and engage, as I mentioned how to do earlier. And then I'm going to promote, I'm going to invite her to where the show's at, where the party's at, which is over here. So you got to understand, you got to promote event to event. A master promoter can win big in network marketing. So once again, here are the 7 P's: posture, prospect, peak, point, pass, plug, and promote. This is the perfect process for network marketing, start to finish, mindset to duplication. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Charles. But what I want to say is these 7 steps, it breaks down the entire network marketing process as simply as it needs to be broken down to, so you can understand the mindset you need to have, what we do in network marketing by piquing interest, plugging people in, passing them, that sort of thing. And then, hopefully you can become a master promoter. Good information and advice is absolutely pointless unless you take action. So what I love to see you do from this, hopefully Charles and I have inspired you today to take action on your dreams and make sure that you understand that which you share multiplies and that which you withhold diminishes. So Charles, I appreciate you having me on, my friend. You're an absolute rock star. I'll turn it right back over to you.
Wow. Fantastic. This is mind-boggling. It calls for massive action. Guys, you see what you need to do for you to grow your business, the 7 P's, straight to the point. If you practice what you just learned from Austin, you surely have success in your business. So let's just take some few questions. But let me ask you this. How can a new person create a system for his organization? How do you advise?
Sure, good question. So hopefully the new person wouldn't want to try to recreate the wheel, right? Hopefully there's already a leader that has some sort of a system that they can plug into. Most of the time, if I were, if I was ever a part of an organization, I would create a system because there really wasn't one already. But, a good getting started system is definitely very important. I've actually helped design getting started systems for different companies because I find that a lot of times they don't really have much. So in a getting started system, you just want to make sure that you have them introduced around a little bit. They know who their upline is. That two, they know their back office. They know how to get around. Three, they know exactly how to get to their first paycheck, which is it's probably the most important part, to be honest with you. If you get them a paycheck within their first 30 days, you've bought yourself another 90 days. Okay. So it's very important. And what I typically do is try to really hold their hand and guide them to getting their first paycheck within their first couple of weeks. Because nothing is going to increase their belief level higher than getting paid. So what I would say is just try to plug in with an existing leader and their getting started system. And if there isn't one, then I have a training on that, but it's kind of in depth. I would just say, make sure that they understand how to navigate their website, how to send out their link. They have some goals written down because they need to know what they're going after and why, right? And then make sure they understand how to get to their first paycheck the right way, meaning get their first customer or their first distributor, and then explain they just duplicate what they did with that new person. Keep it simple.
Fantastic. Fantastic. That's it. Guys, you've heard him. There's another question here. So how do you handle prospects that keep saying that they don't have startup capital?
Sure. The root cause, that's a good question. The root cause of every objection is they don't see the value. So if we were on top of two buildings, right? And, I put a thin piece of wood from one building to the other building, right? And it was 50 stories up. And I told you to walk from this building to that building on that thin piece of wood, chances are you would probably not do it, right? Doesn't sound smart. You'd probably tell me to get lost. But if your children were in that other building and it were on fire and you had to walk across that piece of wood to get to them to save them, chances are you probably wouldn't even think about it. You just do it because the value is there. So you got to understand that if they're giving you any objections, then one, we honestly haven't done a good enough job at creating the value. If, for example, if I'm reaching out to somebody and immediately hitting them with a pitch or a link, I haven't done any work in building value at all. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it might be good to do another training sometime or another on my 5-point recruiting formula. But in that recruiting formula, you share a quick story with them, which is like a 60 to 90 second story. And it builds that value in what it is that you're doing. It's a heartfelt, quick story. Just understand that those people that are giving you those objections, they don't see it yet. They don't see the value, because if they saw the value, they would find the money, they would find the time, they wouldn't have to talk to their spouse, whatever objection that you're getting. So what I would say is just do some good work building some value. And then another really good thing you can do is if there's somebody in your company that you can introduce them to that's similar to them in some way. I had a young lady that had 7 children, and she was in her early 20s, and she lived in Indianapolis, a rough part of town in Indianapolis, Indiana, here in the United States. And whenever I explained it to her, I knew that she didn't have any money. I knew that going, but I also knew that I felt that I could mentor her to getting the life that she wanted. And I had that value. I knew my value. I knew the value and the opportunity. When I spoke to her, what I focused on were her pain points. You know, I focused on the fact that she didn't have any help. I focused on the fact that she wanted a better life for her kids. She told me how to close her whenever I was forming by meaning family, occupation, recreation, message. When I'm talking to them, I find out what they want. She told me how to close her. So she lifted the hood of her Tahoe, her car, and sold parts of her car to join the business, moved her 7 kids in with her brother for 2 weeks and worked the business for like 16 to 18 hours a day. Her first check was $2,100. She ended up being a 7-figure earner. Sarita Doherty. And, you know, a lot of people would have given up on her because she didn't have any money. She didn't have any time. She was a single mom with 7 kids and no help. So you got to have that. Wow. You got to build that value.
Wow. Fantastic. Eddie, you let the person see the value of what is coming into and the person we run with it. And so really, thank you for that tip you've shared with us on how we can help someone get on board the business, especially when the person is complaining of not having money. I want you to talk more on passing, because I see some people without edifying the person they want to pass to, they just pass.
Yeah.
How can you explain that?
Yeah, sure. Good question. So, in one previous business, I've almost never had an upline ever, but I did have an upline in 2 companies that I was in. I was always direct to the company, or I had an upline that sponsored me and then quit. It was the weirdest thing. I don't get it. So, but I did have an upline. So let's say I'm doing a call with my upline. It might sound like this. I'm following up with Charles, right? And I'm gonna say, you know, hey, Charles, what's up, man? How you been? Did you get a chance to check out the information I sent you? Yes, you did. Awesome. Great. What'd you like best about what you saw? Oh, yeah, I like that too. It's one of my favorite parts. 3, what kind of questions did you have for me? Oh, you know what? That's a great question. I'd be curious what my partner, PJ, had to say. PJ was actually the 2nd man in network marketing history to be presented with a $1 million bonus on stage, $1 million bonus, right? It's one heck of a bonus. He's a best-selling author, one of the top industry icons and trainers that I could ever even introduce you to, and he knows the business inside and out. Let me see if he's available. 1 second. Hold on. I'm going to give him a call. And then I would 3-way call PJ, who I already told I would be giving him a call, right? And say, hey, you know, PJ, I've got Charles on. He had a question about the compensation plan. Cool. And I click back over. Hey, Charles, what's up, man? This is my buddy PJ I was telling you about. PJ, this is my good friend Charles. He's an industry leader out of Nigeria, phenomenal gentleman. You'll love him. So PJ, meet Charles. And so then I would just be quiet. So I build PJ up, okay, and edify him, talk him up like he invented water just to walk on it, right? You know, he's just the baddest man ever, right? And the reason why I do that is because now it doesn't matter what my credibility is or the company's or whatever. I've done them a favor by introducing them to an expert. I've built so much value in PJ, they're going to listen when he speaks. Okay. And then he's going to turn around and edify me. Okay. Oh man, you always build me up to be 10 foot tall, but on a good day, I'm 5'9", right? You're amazing. Thank you so much. You know, Charles, you're lucky to have Austin, and he's going to build me up, because then that increases my value and my credibility. And then he's going to answer the questions for me. Now, I've made sure Charles saw a presentation before I got him on with PJ, because the purpose of a 3-way introduction is not for a presentation. It's to build credibility, answer a couple questions, and put them in a decision-making situation. And that's it. It should take maybe about 5 or 6 minutes.
Fantastic. So one has to be quick about it, and you should never fail to edify. edify the person so as to let the prospects listen to the person. I know this is out of your presentation. This is out of your presentation, what I'm about to ask you. From your success story, you had challenges in life. Yeah. Things were bad, things were tough with you. How were you able to cope and got to where you are?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've been asked that a couple of times. That's life happens to us all. And I remember, so whenever I was 12 years old, I started doing some silly stuff in the streets, right? And so from age 12 to 19, I was in the streets and I was just doing silly stuff. It happens, right? And then when I was 19, I knew that my life was headed in one of two bad directions if I stayed on that path. And so I joined corporate America and I did really well for about 7 years. And then there was a corporate restructuring, which meant I was out of a job. And so I went from about $20,000 a month in earnings, which was pretty good, to $20,000 a year because I wound up in factories, which, and it's just difficult to cut your income in 1/12, and so I had all these principles in my mind that I knew, but I was busy beating myself up and feeling sorry for myself, right? And so it was important to not stay there. And honestly, I expected somebody to just show up with a sack full of cash and a Lamborghini and help me because I had potential and I wanted it. But everybody wants it and everybody's got potential. You're not broken. You are great. There's greatness in everybody. You're built great. God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, did an excellent job with your soul. You've just got some impediments, you know what I'm saying? Some self-sabotaging behavior, some self-worth issues, some limiting beliefs, whatever it is. So to answer your question, one day after I had lost my home, I had lost my car, and I was eating at the canned food drive at the Salvation Army. I was at my mom's house, and it just dawned on me, nobody's coming to save me. Nobody cares. No one cares enough to save me. I'm going to have to do it myself. I'm going to have to get myself out of the situation that I'm in. And my mom was about to lose her house. So she wasn't doing any better than I was. So it was just a situation where it just dawned on me, I'm either going to die or I'm going to try my guts out to get out of this situation. I need to come up with a plan. And then shortly after, someone introduced me to network marketing, and I was really bad when I got started and lost friends and ran people off. And I couldn't have been any worse if I stood outside of a building yelling, "You want to join my pyramid scheme?" I mean, it was horrible how bad I was. But we all start off, we all crawl before we walk before we run. So to answer your question, I just made the decision that if it's to be, it's up to me. And then I kept doing it until I wasn't afraid to do it anymore. And now I enjoy it. Matter of fact, Charles, yesterday I was doing my personal development, and I want to read to you. Okay. It's actually got some cussing in it, so I'm not going to read it to you. I'm gonna say this is what I got from my personal development. It's a conversation between myself and my inner self, right? I don't know what to do. Yes, you do. Just keep doing. Just do the thing you're most afraid of doing, and keep doing it until you're not afraid of it anymore. It can't be that simple. Well, it is, and that's how it was with me in network marketing. I was afraid to do it. I didn't see my value and I didn't think other people would, but I kept doing it until I wasn't afraid to do it. And now I actually really enjoy it. So,
yeah, that same journey with me. And do it scared, do it afraid, and keep doing it until you are not afraid again. Now, let me just I really want to commend you for what you're doing. Before I ask you to share with us your book, there's this last question I want to ask you on the Q&A. He said, how Are there any crazy mistakes to avoid in network marketing?
Are there any crazy mistakes to avoid in network marketing? Yeah, I'd say there's probably some good ones, but I'm gonna give you two answers. One, you're gonna make mistakes. That's part of success. If I had $1 for every mistake I had, I could buy Hawaii. So yeah, it's you're gonna make mistakes, and that's good. That's how we learn. But I would say, if I had to answer that question with a direct "don't do this," I would say pick one company and one network marketing company, work your tail off, completely mentally, physically, and spiritually sell out to that. Give it every single thing that you've got and stay with it. Stick and stay. Those that stick with it and stay in the activities get the pay. Those that stick and stay get the pay. So just stick and stay, show up every day. So make consistency work for you. And what I mean by that is so many people work the business when they feel like it. They work it Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. No, that means you're in the business, but the business is not in you. You need the business in you. I'm talking Sunday to Sunday. You at least have an hour a day. Anybody can find an hour a day, no matter how busy they are. Take it with you like you would take a bottle of water. It takes no more time to take it with you. Just take it with you and introduce people to it. Make sure it's a part of your life, because it's a big difference between having, being in the business and having the business in you. So I would say find a company, stick with it, stick and stay, and then make sure that it's not just you in the business, but the business is in you. I think that's good. Just know that you'll make mistakes though. It's going to happen. So that's okay.
Yeah. So we can't avoid mistakes because it's part of the business. And I love what you just said, stick and stay, because many people especially, I don't know if it's the same in the US, where many of them feel if they join multiple network marketing company, it is multiple streams of income.
Yeah, that's not what billionaires mean by multiple streams of income. So so the last company I actively built, I was the #1 income earner. I retired from the field, and I never really, what I did is I took 50% of my paycheck and I never saw it. I automatically deferred 50% of my paycheck, and I took that paycheck and I invested it into different stuff. And because I did, I'm co-owner in a barber shop, co-owner in a restaurant. I own a sports apparel line, all sorts of different stuff. And matter of fact, I don't even own a sports apparel line. All these things are income streams, and I don't even know how much money most of them make because I don't deal with that. My assistant does. And I learned every $20,000 a month that you make, hire a new assistant, and that's just something that's worked well for me. You know what I'm saying? And so, what they mean by multiple streams of income isn't multiple network marketing businesses. That confuses the people that are following you. That confuses your audience. One business is enough. And what do they say, Charles? You can't serve two masters. They say you chase two rabbits, you'll lose both. There's tons of different sayings for it, but just pick something. You can't. Me personally, I'm married. I have one wife because I do not want two. You know what I'm saying? So, it's enough work to make her as happy as I possibly can, right? And so, to do that all over again would be a nightmare for me. So, and that's just my personal preference. Okay. So, but find one, give it everything you got, give it your heart and soul. And I promise you, it will pay you dividends, and use that money to invest in other stuff to create multiple income streams.
Wow. So excited having you today. I hope we will get you back again to come talk about what you said you're going to share with us. I pray you have the time with us again, the 5 points of recruiting. If you are available, let us know. We'll be excited to hear about that. And please, your book, can you share your book with us and how we can order it?
Yeah. So the book, I actually bought the rights to my book back. And so I don't actually sell my book anymore. I've got about 4,000 copies in a warehouse somewhere. But if anyone wants to, wants to connect, you can always connect on Facebook. I've got a Facebook business page that has just a ton of value on it that's free. I always make sure to share some value on my personal page. You could go to austinzulauf.com. There's just tons of free stuff out there. And honestly, the principles in my book are outlined on my day-to-day posts and in my life. So,
sure. That's great. So thank you very much for the time. My regards to your beautiful wife and children. Thank you very much for coming up tonight. We are very, today, we're grateful. We're grateful. The 7 P's, guys, hope you remember the 7 P's. If you remember it, I want you to drop it in the chat box. Drop it in the chat box. I want to see if you really got value. Drop the 7 P's on the chat box, on the comments, on Facebook. Posture, yes. What's the next one?
There we go.
Posture, prospect, big points, pass. Very fast. So they are so excited with what you've shared with us, and we believe with this, a lot of us will do well in our business. Thank you very much, Austin, and we pray that when we call again, you answer us again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one, Charles. Bye, guys.
All right. So, guys, thank you very much for being part of this. I want you to share this, tag your team members. They need to see this. The more you help your team members grow in their business, the more successful you'll become, and the more independent they too will be building their own business. So get them plugged into this training. Next week, 11:30, we are having the number 2 in Africa on our Meet Your Success Partner show. Mrs. Oluchi Abraham. Coming up next week. If you're excited, drop 111 in the chat box, because it's going to be a mind-boggling webinar. Make sure you invite your friends, family members, everyone to be part of next week's show and go practice the 7 P's. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, and Twitter. If you're on Twitter, follow me on all the social media handles. You know I'm available. See you all next week. And those who are my mentorship course, see you by 8 p.m. times.